Welcome to Work Made Easy, where we explore the transformative power of simplicity in driving positive action and unlocking your fullest potential.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Work Made Easy. I'm your host, Parthajeet, and as always, we are here to explore how to make work not just simpler, but also relatable and enjoyable. And let's be honest, if you've ever spent 10 minutes trying to figure out how to connect to the office Wi-Fi or wondered why the meeting room with the best chairs is always double booked, this episode is for you. Today, we have someone who's been on the front lines of transforming workplaces from chaotic to coordinated. He's a leader in facility management, workplace strategy, and digital transformation. Besides heading his consultancy practice, Martin is also the hub lead of Workplace Evolutionaries for Europe and the Asia-Pacific region. Please join me in welcoming Martin Ruppe, as they say in Europe, and Martin Ruppe, as they say in India. Martin, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here on Work Made Easy.
Well, thank you very much for the invite, and looking forward to our conversation today.
Absolutely, Martin. And before we jump in, let's lighten the mood a little. If you could, let's say, magically fix one annoying workplace issue forever, what would that be?
For me, it would be to fix the lack of integration between the technology, the people, and the processes within the workplace and corporates here. Often you see that the employees are burdened with inefficient tools, or that the systems are disconnected, so that they create an unnecessary friction. And on one side, you have a reduced experience using all this technology at the company, but also it reduces the efficiency. So it could be more efficient if those are better aligned to each other.
That's kind of classic, isn't it? And that we still have these struggles, I think, close to 4 years post-COVID. And I keep on wondering why this happens. Is it because organizations do not align their purchase of such tools with their workplace strategy, or is it something else? Have you thought about this?
It's always it helps if you have an overall strategy. Many of the pain points that you see in companies and the efficiency, how they work, are based that there's a lack of a strategy. And I guess, as you know, in your own practice, it's usually hard for companies to define a strategy for the workplace. And once you have a strategy in place, all the tasks, all the projects, everything you need to run becomes easier because you can tie it to a common goal.
I agree. And that common goal could actually be about making workplaces more employee-centric quite often. And Martin, you've had a fascinating journey working at, I think, the intersection of technology and workplace strategy. Can you share what inspired you to focus on making workplaces more seamless and employee-centric?
Well, over the years, I realized that a well-designed workplace that includes a physical workplace, that includes processes, that includes technology, and more important, it includes the corporate culture, has a massive impact on the people's life, how they enjoy to work for your organization. And the ones who really enjoy what they are doing, you can't beat them. They are such amazing talents. If they have the environment and the skills, they outperform everyone else. And that's where my inspiration comes from. I enjoy the work, and I enjoy to work with people, to work in teams. And to be really efficient in that, you really need to embrace it and create the culture for it. So you can have the most amazing physical workplace, but you also need to be sure that you navigate your corporate culture well and to allow the people to perform. And that is in large organizations not always easy, but we do see the examples, and those companies are just killing the market.
Right. And you said embrace those systems. Are you kind of hinting that occasionally we see that technology is a separate piece which is not well integrated into the organization's culture?
We see it very often that technology is used to just focus on one single pain point. They see there is maybe a lack of data quality, there is a lack of this, there's a lack of something else. And then there's one piece bought on a market, installed, rolled out, but it's kind of treating symptoms. As you know, I'm a big fan of Qigong and Chinese medicine. But what is the big difference between Chinese medicine and the Western medicine? In Chinese medicine, you try not to get ill. So if someone is ill, you try to figure out what is the cause of it. Whereas in the Western medicine, we often focus, I have so much pain, and for this pain, I'll take medicine to just to numb the pain. But it's not treating the cause of the problem. It's not the cause. And that's what I see very often happening with technology in companies. You buy something to treat a symptom, but not the cause. And when I run my project, that's what I try to do. If I see such symptoms, trying to nail it down to the problem and go to the root of the problem. And that's how you create efficiency. That's how you create a better enjoyment for the people working if you treat the issues.
That's a brilliant analogy, Martin, trying to treat the symptoms. In fact, I think you're kind of referring to this whole alignment of technology with workplace strategy, which has to be there. And there are all these fancy terms that we hear nowadays, right? Digital twins, CAFM, IWMS. I mean, well, they sound impressive. And sometimes you may get impressed and buy them, like you said, as a standalone piece without really trying to align them with what your organization's vision is or your mission is for the next 5 years. But tell me something. Eventually, like you said, it's about the end user, right? It's about the employee. On the ground, for somebody who's coming into the workplace at 9 in the morning and leaving at 5 in the evening or working from home, how do these tools really make the average workday easier for the end user?
So the tools should help to simplify the tasks. They should support and automate the processes, and they should create data, either real-time data or structured data, so that you can make decisions based on what's really happening. Well, with IWMS systems, as you know, employees can quickly book meeting rooms, report issues, find available desks if there is distributed desks seating concept in place. It should be easy, and it should help them to have a good customer journey when they go to the office, work, leave the office. So to see like, okay, how can I make it most productive and at the same time also with a good experience? And therefore IWMS systems are taking more and more over. And we also see digital twins creating a virtual replica of your buildings and your workplace. And they also help to make a better decision making for your organization. And I like to define the digital twin a bit different. Most people always see when they hear the word digital twin, they think of a BIM model, a 3D model. It's not really a 3D model. It means you have the digital data set interconnected with each other so that you can work well. And that means it's not a single system. For a larger corporate, you have access systems, you have HR systems, you have all your ERP systems, you have room booking systems. All of this, it could be single solutions facilitating more or less areas of what you need, but usually it's always a set. And especially with all the apps, what we see out there, you need to make sure how you combine everything so that if you book in a room booking software, that you have later on the data for reporting in your maybe BI systems. And cloud technology helped a lot on this, to be able with web services to connect all these different systems with each other. But getting very complicated with architecture, but that's digital architecture. That's usually where I come in to help to find a strategy for that. But the overall thing should be, where is really my pain point, and what do I want to solve, and how to get to an overall strategy, how to define data flows. It's getting very complex, and that's why we often see that facility management is a bit overwhelmed by the topic of digitalization, because it's getting so complex to grasp the overall understanding of digitalization. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely I'm aligned to what you're saying, Martin. In fact, when I co-authored the book Work Made Easy, we wrote about this as well in the book, that it all needs to be integrated. But while doing a bit of research, we realized that integration is not easy. I mean, you have different systems being offered by different companies, and trying to integrate them can be a little difficult. And that's why I love your idea that eventually it needs to connect with the organization's vision. If you don't have that, if you don't have that clear, just doing something because your other competitor is doing that doesn't make any sense, because at the end of the day, it just might end up being more of a headache than, actually making work easier for the end user. What about you, Martin? Let's be honest. Have you ever faced a situation where the tech was more of a headache than a help for the end user?
Unfortunately, yes. I've seen, as you said before, I've seen situations where technology was just implemented without a clear strategy or proper training of users, without really aligning it well to the data structure. And that is a nightmare. And you don't have the acceptance then from the users. They might still be using then Excel sheets on the side, and just neglect the system, or say like, the data quality in there is not good. Why should we use it? It does not fit of what we need, and or the system is too slow, or we don't have enough licenses, and so there's so many reasons why they can go, or maybe they never got really asked what they need. And there's nothing wrong with a proper Excel file if everyone knows what to expect and how to use. But the overall understanding, it's not always there. And yeah, not aligning well a technology you implement. It's also again just you try to treat a symptom, but you're not going for the root cause. Yeah, and therefore it's so critical to involve the stakeholders early, everyone who is affected by a new technology. If you think you need to bring something in, and pointing back again, it's about the strategy. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go with your team? Where do you want to go with your department? Where is your organization heading? Where is your company heading? And all of this information helps you to pick the right things and to understand, and it also helps aligning everyone on the process. And it's a little bit, sometimes I'm a little bit missing that on the market. But the good thing is more and more and more organizations are understanding this importance and see technology now differently. And
Yeah, that's a silver lining. I mean, I think about technology, when it works, it's magic. When it doesn't, it can be comedy. And I like the fact that you said that sometimes you probably don't ask what they need, right? And you end up doing things to people, and they can't recognize it. Yeah, hey, maybe my Excel sheet actually works better than this piece of technology that you've done to me or given me, and they don't find it relatable. And I mean, Martin, from your experience, what do you think is the secret to designing workplaces that genuinely connect with the people?
so you need to put your people first, and if you understand what they need to be productive, what they need to be engaged, what they need to be comfortable, and all this together, that helps you to understand and to define a strategy. And then it's very easy, or more or less easy, to design a space, to find the systems you need, to implement the technology you need, to get the buy-in of the employees. If you have a clear idea, and if you're open to feedback in both ways, everything becomes so much easier. And
Absolutely. It's not a one-way street, right?
absolutely.
Yeah, I think get them engaged early on makes a lot of sense, Martin. Let's do a little bit of crystal ball gazing. What do you think are the biggest trends now shaping workplaces in the next 5 years, Martin? Are we headed towards maybe a world of robot baristas or virtual reality water coolers?
Well, I just returned from Dubai and I went there to a 3-day seminar. And they said the increase of knowledge is now down to the double of knowledge is now down to 1 year because of AI. A few years ago, the double of knowledge was at 5 years. And before that, we were like 20 to 60 to 100 years. So the amount of knowledge we create and information is just accelerating even more than we thought. And therefore, it's no wonder that AI has the biggest impact on how we work. I don't even want to say will here anymore because nearly every one of us is using it. If you're using ChatGPT just to be quicker on writing something or to do research, but this is just the beginning, and there is no area that will be left untouched. And that will have by far the biggest impact. There are estimations that someone who can use AI well could maybe even achieve a productivity of about 50 people who don't.
Wow.
And this is massive performance. This is an increase in efficiency. A couple of people, I heard from one company, they stopped hiring a year ago. They had about 400 staff. They're now down to 275. And they expect on the longer run that they will be as sufficiently running with 100 people.
Wow. I certainly want to be on the right side of that.
Yes, so in the beginning, the ones who know how to use the technology are the ones taking you the jobs. It's not the person who is not using it. So it's not the AI, it's the one who know how to use it. And then of course it's obvious that companies who neglect AI adoptions, they might not be existing within the next few years. Few years I might mean even 3 years. Because if someone is 50 times more efficient, you can't keep up
So
with that.
what you're saying is that if I'm in the jungle and I've seen this tiger, running after me, which is I don't have to beat the tiger. I just have to beat my friend and run faster than him.
Yeah. So yeah, AI will be a massive impact. I have like nobody can see where the race is going. Um, I heard a discussion lately where someone was asking, will AI develop a soul? And the person answering the question said, like, he's not so afraid about AI having a soul. He's more afraid, or he wishes that the people who develop the AIs that they have a soul.
Right.
But it will bring up amazing products, amazing opportunities. It will shake everything, but I'm very optimistic. It's with every technology we had in the past. Every time if something radically new came up, people were scared. But as we saw, it always went on. We always found purpose after a
Of
new
course.
technology, and AI won't be any different on that.
I tend to
And
agree with you on that mostly. Yeah. Yeah.
and maybe it will help to help the other thing I see, and because sustainability, we need to get better on this, and we need to put more effort in. And with our real estate, we are in the forefront where we need to do something. So as we know, every building we don't need to build, or every space we don't need to build, has a positive impact. If you need to If you're able to design buildings well and offices well, and we only need 80 or 60% of the space, we also don't need to run and operate the other 40%. And as we know, in a life cycle view of a building, the building phase is only 20%. 80% of the total costs happen during the operational time. So it's the 20% which we don't build have an 4 times leverage on what we don't need to invest to run the space.
Right.
And therefore, it's important to have a good workplace design, a good workplace strategy. That's where we come in, where you come in, where I come in, to help the market to get there, to find the right direction.
Martin, thank you so much for sharing your journey and insights with us today. But before I let you go, what's one piece of advice you'd like to give to our listeners who want to make their work lives easier?
It would be embrace technology and start to define a strategy. It makes everything easier. It makes easier to find what you need. It helps you to identify your pain points. It helps you to get the acceptance from your employees. It helps you on so many levels to have a clear understanding and the power of communication. Share your challenges with the stakeholders and decision makers so that they can help you to find solutions that really make a difference to everyone. And everything is so complex, you can't do it all. So communication, I think, is a key on this.
Brilliant advice. And to our listeners, remember, work does not have to feel like work all the time. With the right strategies and tools, it can be as effortless as the first sip of coffee in the morning, right, Martin? Thank you once again, Martin, for joining us. I really appreciate you spending time with us today.
Thank you for having me. And as you know, in Vienna, Austria, coffee is a big thing, and that's what I'm going to have now. Thank you very much, and looking forward to our upcoming conversations.
For sure. And to our listeners, do not forget to hit subscribe and share this episode with a colleague who might need a little bit of ease in their workday. Until next time, keep making work easy.
Work made easy. The transformative power of simplicity in driving positive action and unlocking your fullest potential.